Have you ever wondered why some people seem to deal with any challenge without losing their calm, while others are paralyzed by anxiety? In the modern world, where external pressures are constant and problems arise almost daily, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. Whether at work, personal relationships, or even times of global crisis, many of us fight to maintain serenity and focus on the essentials. But what if I told you that there is an old wisdom that can transform your way of facing these adversities? Today, we will explore 7 amazing ways that smart people use to face life using the teachings of Stoic philosophy. This powerful approach, developed by the great sages of antiquity, such as Seneca, Epicteto, and Marco Aurelio, offers practical tools to deal with emotional uncertainties, reduce stress, and gain greater inner well-being. The key message here is simple but deep. True freedom comes from avoiding problems, but of learning to face them wisely. If you want to develop a more resilient mindset, learn to control your emotions and find out how to find peace even in the midst of chaos, this video has been made especially for you. In the next few minutes, we will dive into the central principles of Stoic philosophy and show how to apply them in practice. Get ready to discover a new path towards emotional freedom. Before we dive into the 7 amazing ways that intelligent people use to face life, it is important to better understand what Stoic philosophy is. This ancient stream of thought arose in ancient Greece around the 3rd century BC and quickly became one of the most influential philosophical approaches of the time. His main goal was to teach how to live a full and balanced life, even in the midst of adversity. The heart of Stoic philosophy can be summed up in 3 basic principles. 1. Living according to nature. This means acting rationally, aligning with the universal values and the natural order of things. 2. Accepting what is out of our control. Instead of fighting inevitable circumstances, the Stoics encourage us to accept what we cannot change and focus on our energies in what really depends on us. 3. Focus on the present. We live only at the present time, and it is in it that we should focus our attention, avoiding excessive concerns with the future or brooding the past. A practical example of this can be seen in a daily situation. Imagine that you are stuck in traffic and have an important meeting. Instead of frustrating with something you can't control, traffic, Stoic philosophy suggests that you focus on something productive you can do right there, such as reviewing your notes or meditating on the meeting. This type of mindset transforms apparent obstacles into growth opportunities. Now let's talk briefly about some of the big names in Stoic philosophy. Seneca, a Roman playwright and counselor, wrote extensively on how to cultivate virtues such as wisdom, courage, and moderation. Epictetus, a former Greek slave, taught that true freedom comes from the understanding of which aspects of life we can control and which one should simply accept. And finally, Marco Aurelio, Roman emperor and author of the famous book Meditations, applied these principles to his reign, facing imperial crises as he kept his inner serenity. Today, Stoic philosophy remains relevant because it offers practical solutions to deal with modern issues such as anxiety, stress, and uncertainties. She teaches us how to develop a more balanced and resilient perspective, allowing us to face any challenge with calm and mental clarity. With this solid base, we are ready to explore the 7 specific ways that smart people use to face life. Way 1. Accept what is out of your control. One of the fundamental pillars of Stoic philosophy is the idea of fully accepting what is outside our control. This principle may seem simple at first glance, but its practical application requires a significant change in the way we view the challenges of life. When we concentrate excessively on external factors on which we have no power, we end up generating unnecessary suffering. On the other hand, by clearly recognizing what we can control and focus our energies on it, we make room for a quieter and more productive life. Imagine that you received negative feedback at work. Your first reaction may be to feel frustrated or offended, especially if the comment seems unfair. However, by adopting a Stoic perspective, you realize that you cannot control the opinions of others, but you can control how you choose to react to them. Instead of being carried away by anger or sadness, you can use this moment as an opportunity to reflect on yourself and identify areas where you can really improve. To practice this skill, the Stoics suggest creating a Stoic diary, where you share your days between things within my control and things out of my control. By recording these events daily, you begin to develop greater awareness of what really deserves your attention and effort. For example, if you are concerned about a project that depends on other people, ask yourself, what can I do now? Focus on the parts under your jurisdiction, such as reviewing your data or preparing clear presentations, and let the rest flow as it happens. This technique not only reduces stress, but also increases its efficiency, as it directs its energies to concrete actions rather than wasting them with unproductive concerns. In addition, it promotes a sense of inner peace, as you learn to accept life's uncertainties without trying to control everything around you. Now that we better understand how to accept what is out of our control, we can advance to another powerful strategy, the practice of voluntary denial. But before we got there, reflect on your own experience. How many times have you wasted time worrying about something you couldn't change? This is the key to starting to transform your way of thinking. Way 2. Practice voluntary denial. Now that we understand the importance of accepting what is out of our control, let's dive into another powerful technique of Stoic philosophy, the practice of voluntary denial. This concept may seem strange at first glance, but its application is simple and extremely effective. The basic idea is to simulate temporary deprivations to develop gratitude and emotional endurance. By getting used to uncomfortable situations deliberately, we learn to value the good things we have in life and gain strength to face greater adversities. Imagine that you decide to spend a day without using your phone or reduce small luxuries such as gourmet coffee or movie streaming. This apparently insignificant experience can reveal a lot about its daily priorities and dependencies. When you are momentarily detached from something you consider essential, you realize that you can live perfectly well without it. This insight not only strengthens its ability to adapt, but it also increases its gratitude for what it usually takes as guaranteed. The ancient Stoic practiced this technique regularly. For example, Epictetus used to say, "When you are about to get something new, ask yourself, what if I lose it?" This reflection helps to cultivate a resilient mindset, preparing us to deal with inevitable losses in life. In addition, when experiencing controlled deprivation, you build tolerance for discomfort, which is crucial to facing greater challenges in the future. To implement this practice in your routine, start with small daily changes. Try it. Spend a day without social networks. Reduce the consumption of refined foods for a few days. Barefoot on different surfaces to feel the world in a new way. These experiences may seem trivial, but their accumulated impact is deep. They teach that happiness and satisfaction do not depend on external comforts, but in a balanced internal perspective. As you incorporate voluntary denial into your life, you will begin to notice a significant change in your ability to deal with difficulties and uncertainties. Ready to take the next step? In the next chapter, we will explore how to focus on the present can turn your approach to challenges. But first, reflect on which small denials you can start practicing today. Small adjustments can lead to big changes. Way 3. Focus on the present. One of the main causes of anxiety and stress in modern life is our constant tendency to think about the future or remember past events. Whether it's a concern for a future commitment or frustration for something that has happened, these thoughts take us from the present moment and prevent us from living fully. Stoic philosophy offers a simple but powerful solution: living in the now. The basic principle is that the only moment we really have is the present. The future does not yet exist, and the past is gone. By focusing our attention on here and now, we can make clearer decisions, be more productive, and significantly reduce our stress levels. As an Epictetus said, "Do not restless with the things that are out of your reach, but go to those present." A practical example of this can be seen in a common situation. You are working on an important project, but your mind keeps jumping to concerns about a scheduled meeting for a few hours. Instead of letting these distractions consume your time and energy, focus exclusively on the task in front of you. Complete it as best as possible before you turn to the next challenge. This approach not only improves its efficiency, but also promotes a sense of inner peace. To help cultivate this skill, Stoic suggests techniques similar to mindfulness meditation, adapted to the practical context of everyday life. Try to stop for a few minutes during the day and ask yourself, where am I now? What can I do right now? This helps anchor your mind in the present and push it away from unnecessary thoughts. Also, by practicing this technique regularly, you begin to realize that many of your concerns are based on hypothetical scenarios that will never occur. This dramatically reduces mental suffering and increases its ability to enjoy what really matters. With the focus on the present well established, we are ready to explore another incredible way to face life, transforming obstacles into opportunities. But first, reflect on how you can start to bring more presence to your daily routine. Small conscious breaks can make all the difference. Way 4. Turning obstacles into opportunities. One of the most powerful ideas of Stoic philosophy is the belief that obstacles are, in fact, disguised opportunities for growth and learning. Instead of seeing problems such as something negative or insurmountable, the Stoic encouraged their followers to adopt a different perspective, love fati, or love destiny. This concept teaches us how to embrace adversities as an integral part of our path, turning them into steps towards self-improvement. A classic example of this mindset can be found in the life of Marco Aurelio, Roman emperor and author of the book Meditations. During his reign, he faced political crises, wars, and even devastating epidemics. However, instead of letting himself down on these challenges, he saw them as opportunities to strengthen their resilience and leadership. His famous phrase summarizes this approach well: "What is in obedience to nature cannot be closed to my heart." Today, we can apply this principle to our daily lives. Imagine that you are working on an important project and find a technical problem that delays all progress. The natural reaction would be frustration or anger, but by adopting a Stoic perspective, you can turn this obstacle into a chance to learn something new. It may be necessary to seek help from a colleague, study an alternative solution, or simply practice patience while awaiting resolution. Each difficulty brings with it a valuable lesson, as long as we are willing to see it. To implement this practice in your life, start identifying small daily setbacks and reflect on them. Ask yourself, what can I learn from it, or how can I use this experience to improve in the future? This simple exercise will help you develop a more positive and resilient mindset, allowing you to see challenges as natural stages of the growth process. By cultivating this ability, you will find that obstacles are no longer a threat and become silent allies on your way to success and personal fulfillment. Now that we understand how to turn challenges into opportunities, we will explore another crucial way to face life: cultivating virtuous friendships. But first, think of some recent obstacle you faced. How could you have used this experience to grow? Way 5. Cultivate virtuous friendships. Stoic philosophy is not limited to the way we face individual challenges. It also emphasizes the importance of human relations in the development of a balanced and full life. For Stoics, cultivating virtuous friendships is essential to moral and intellectual growth. This means surrounding yourself with people who share high values and encourage us to be better versions of ourselves. Unlike superficial or toxic relationships, virtuous friendships are based on true connection, mutual respect, and desire for joint progress. These relationships contribute to our constant evolution, offering emotional support when necessary and positively challenging us to grow. As an Epicteto said, "Find a friend who raises you, but take care that you can raise you too." Imagine that you are trying to adopt a more resilient and focused mindset, like the one taught by Stoic philosophy. If your friendships are composed of people who often reinforce negative behaviors or dissipate their energy with useless distractions, it will be much more difficult to achieve their goals. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with individuals who value wisdom, moderation, and courage, your path will be much clearer and motivating. To identify and cultivate virtuous friendships, start by evaluating your current relationships. Ask yourself, do these people inspire me to be better? Do they support me in difficult times without imposing conditions? If the answer is positive, invest more time in these connections. If not, consider gradually reduce contact with those who do not add value to your journey. Also, remember that reciprocity is critical. Just as we seek friends who raise us, we should be willing to do the same for them. Show genuine interest in the achievements and difficulties of others, offer wise advice when necessary, and be present in good and bad times. With this solid basis of significant relationships, we are ready to explore another crucial way to face life, to develop indifference to compliments and insults, but rather reflect on who your true allies are on the journey of life. Which of these people really contribute to their growth? Way 6. Develop indifference to compliments and insults. One of the most liberating lessons of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we must learn to be indifferent to external compliments and insults. This does not mean completely ignoring the feedback of others, but understanding that the opinions of others, whether positive or negative, say more about who expresses them than about ourselves. In internalizing this perspective, we develop emotional independence that allows us to keep calm and clarity regardless of circumstances. Imagine that you get a negative comment on social networks or at work. Your first reaction can be defensive or even painful, especially if the comment seems unfair. However, by adopting a Stoic mindset, you realize that this judgment reflects more about the person who did it than about you. Perhaps she is having a bad day, maybe her own insecurities or prejudices. Regardless of this, your self-perception need not be shaken by something so superficial. Similarly, compliments should also be seen in moderation. Although they may be rewarding, allow our self-esteem depend exclusively on external validation creates unnecessary vulnerability. Stoics believed that true strength comes from within, a deep connection with our own values and principles. As Seneca said, "The wise man does not seek approval. He acts according to his own conscience." To practice this ability, start by recognizing when your mind is being influenced by external opinions. Whenever you feel affected by a compliment or insult, ask yourself, does this opinion really matter? Does it contribute to my personal growth? This practice will help you strengthen your emotional resilience and develop a sense of internal freedom. By cultivating this healthy indifference, you become less susceptible to foreign fluctuations and more connected to your own sense of purpose. With this in mind, we are ready to explore the last incredible way to face life, to live according to your values. But first, reflect on how you have reacted to compliments and criticism recently. Which of these moments could have been faced with the most wisdom? Way 7. Live according to your values. The last of the 7 amazing ways that intelligent people use to face life is to live according to their fundamental values. For Stoic, this practice not only offers a solid basis for making decisions, but also provides a clear meaning of direction and purpose in life. When we act in line with our internal principles, we create harmony between who we are and how we behave in the world. For starters, it is crucial to identify what their main values are. These may vary from person to person, but usually include concepts such as honesty, integrity, compassion, courage, or search for knowledge. Reserve a few minutes to reflect on this. Ask yourself, what are the three most important things to me? What really defines who I am? Once you have clarity about your values, the next step is to evaluate your daily decisions in the light of these principles. For example, if one of your values is honesty, make sure your interactions with others, both at work and personal relationships, reflect this virtue. If another value is the search for continuous growth, ask yourself, am I investing enough time to learn something new today? This conscious practice will help you create habits that are aligned with your essence. A practical exercise that can be useful is to maintain a values diary. At the end of the day, write briefly about the choices you made and analyze if they were in tune with their principles. This not only strengthens your consciousness, but also promotes positive adjustments over time. By living consistently with your values, you develop a sense of authenticity and purpose that transcends external pressures. No matter the scenario or challenge, knowing that it is acting according to what really matters gives you strength and tranquility. As Marco Aurelio said, do what is right now, do what is human, do what you are. With this well-established mindset, we come to the end of our journey through the 7 amazing ways that smart people use to face life. But before we conclude, think about which values you consider most important and how you can start incorporating them into your daily routine. We have reached the end of this journey by exploring 7 amazing ways that smart people use to face life with Stoic wisdom. From accepting what is out of our control to living according to our deepest values, each of these strategies offers us powerful tools to develop emotional resilience, reduce anxiety, and gain greater inner well-being. We quickly review the main points. 1. Accepting what is out of our control teaches us to direct our energy to what really matters. 2. Practicing voluntary denial strengthens our gratitude and psychological resistance. 3. Focusing on the present helps us avoid futuristic distractions and fully enjoy the current moment. 4. Turning obstacles into opportunities allows us to see challenges as steps towards personal growth. 5. Cultivating virtuous friendships elevates our trajectory through significant relationships. 6. Develop indifference to compliments and insults, frees us from the opinions of others, and promotes emotional self-sufficiency. 7. Living as our values creates consistency between who we are and how we act, bringing purpose to life. The key message here is clear. True freedom is not coming from avoiding problems, but of learning how to face them wisely. By adopting these Stoic principles in your daily routine, you will be equipped to face any adversity with calm, clarity, and determination. Choose today at least one of these techniques and try applying it. Share your experience with us in the comments. We look forward to listening to how these ancient teachings are transforming your modern life. Remember, the force is not in avoiding problems, but in facing them wisely. Thank you for watching, and until the next video.